Alright, so I'm using some new equipment, so if the audio or visual sucks worse than your girl after bottomless margarita night, I apologize. I will iron those things out as I go. But for now, we're just going to let her fly and see what happens. So, if you're at the point now where you want to buy a firearm with your Trump check, you kind of missed the train. The last Trump check wasn't that bad for buying firearms. There were still plenty of options available. But we're looking at right now, so you want to buy a firearm now with the current Trump check, which is roughly $600. You need ammunition. So what do? I mean, the AR-15 isn't totally not possible. You can make it happen, but you're pretty much going to have to go to the used market. Still doable, but the problem is the ammo. You can't find that crap anywhere, and when you do, it's either a small quantity or it's so overpriced, it's literally a crime against humanity they're charging that much. You're going to have to go to a shotgun. Now, there's a lot of different options. You could go like a Maverick 88, Home Security, that's a great one. Stevens 320, not that bad. I strongly recommend going to the used rack, though. Getting like a Remington 870 or a Mossberg 500. A great option is, this particular one is actually a Remington Model 11, but a Browning A5 model. These are actually incredibly cheap. They're usually way under $600. For $600, you should be able to buy this shotgun plus some ammunition, and you can modify it later. For example, this tube cap right here is the exact same size as a Remington 870. Yeah, you'll have to run a little spacer at the bottom, so you can extend your capacity out, so it's actually decent for defense. Chop the barrel down, or you could even leave the barrel alone and just run a longer tube so you have more capacity. Now, there are some differences. If you have a choice between a Remington Model 11 and a Browning A5, go with the Browning A5. One of the biggest differences is a Remington Model 11, you cannot load it without pushing this button right here. And then your load gate moves. And that's just kind of a pain. Other than that, they're really close to identical. And then you got semi-automatic option. Now with the Browning A5 and the Remington Model 11, it's a floating barrel. So that's kind of an issue. You got to keep these clean, because if you have a jam, what's going to happen is your empty case, bolt, and everything will lock to the rear. And you won't be able to get this undone. So then you go put it in your car, and while this is bouncing down the road, because you also can't unload it when the barrel's locked to the rear, or I didn't come up with a way yet, you'll hit a bump just right, your barrel will go forward, it'll eject the empty hull and load a live round. So that's something you're going to want to be aware of. These are old, but if you respect them and you understand how they work, they're not dangerous. You can most definitely use these. I think this one's even got a safety. Yeah, so this one's got a safety trigger guard, which also sucks. Right there. But not a big deal. Now, the shotgun ammo that is available, there's not much. If you're lucky, you'll find buckshot or slugs. That's a great way to go. What you'll probably have to do is find field loads, which lose their effectiveness at like 10 feet or something like that. Once you're outside of the house, they really don't work. Now, you can increase the effectiveness range. What you're going to do is take a knife or something, and you're going to cut a hole in here. It doesn't have to be perfect, because remember, when the shell shoots, it's going to spread this out. So you just got to get a hole big enough so you can dump out the shot. Now, take that shot, take some crayons or any source of wax you got, get it just above melting temperature. You don't want to go too hot, because otherwise when you pour it back in here, it'll go past the wad, get into your powder, and it'll cause problems. But anyways, you're going to take your shot, mix it in with the wax, then pour it back in the hull. And basically what you're making is a frangible slug, and that will increase the effective range of a target load quite drastically, actually. And that will give you shells you can actually shoot until you can finally get your hands on some buckshot or maybe an AR-15 and some ammo later. But that'll put a nice band-aid on there for now. But if you got a chance to go with the Browning A5, or in this case it would be a Remington Model 11, I strongly recommend doing it. This is great for what it is. Keep your eyes open also for your Maverick Securities. Those once upon a time were about $300, and they held 8 rounds of capacity. They're probably up over 5 now, who knows? I mean, the prices of firearms have been going insane. But anyway, I hope I just gave you some ideas. Plenty of options out there. Go to the used rack. That's where you're going to utilize your money best. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. If you'd like to help support the channel, I got my Patreon right there. I also have affiliate links in the description down below. Just by clicking on those links, even if you don't buy what the link is for, I have a little kickback for it because you came there off my channel. Don't forget